Hi, everybody. I just wanted to touch base with people today. I recently got a question. It's been popping up and popping up. So I thought I would do a short video on it to clarify any misconceptions or help prepare the sellers for what's to come. And the topic today is, how do home inspectors work for the sellers in Citrus County? That could be Inverness, Homosassa, Floral City. So if you're a seller and you know you're under contract and the inspection comes up and you're a little nervous about that, so let's just go through what really happens, how you can prepare for it, what to expect. So the home inspections, there's many different kinds. The very basic has the roof, the electrical, the plumbing, and the AC. So that's a 4 point. Those are the four largest points of the home. They can go deeper if you have a buyer that does a full inspection, which I would recommend if I had the buyer. They'll go through and they'll check safety items like the windows to make sure that they open and close in case there was a fire. They'll check the fire alarm system. They will check every electrical outlet. They'll check the plumbing. They'll make sure that there's enough water pressure. So they'll go deep dive. That inspection usually costs the buyers a little more and has a lot more information for them. They'll even report cosmetic type of things that really doesn't have anything to do with the functionality of the home. So that's kind of, there's other inspections that the buyer can also do and pay for, and those are like the septic system to make sure that the drain field's operational. They could do a mold inspection if they walked in and thought, geez, the house smells a little musty, or they're not feeling really good about it, or it sits in a flood zone and they wondered if there was any past flooding and mold remediation done. They could ask for that. There's also termite inspection. So there's all different kinds of inspections. But if you know what's coming and you know the quality of your home and you know how that it was maintained, you're probably pretty comfortable with them coming in. They are going to pick it apart. They always find something. That's their job. They don't feel like they did their job unless they walk away with a few things on that report that show the buyer that they really did go deep. So how do you prepare for that inspection? Well, because they're going to look at the electrical panel and because they're going to go in the attic and they're going to make sure that all the ductwork is connected to a duct, and they're going to, evaluate if there's any staining on the under deck of the roof, you have to make those areas accessible. So if you're moving and you're piling all kinds of boxes up against the wall, just make sure that, the inspector can get to the electrical box, they can get to the sprinkler system. You have to remove your car so that they can drop down the attic stairs or whatever. So just making those areas accessible for them, you know, is really nice. And what happens after the inspection? So usually the inspector will give that report to the buyer within 24 to 48 hours. They're going to go through it with their agent. They're going to highlight the things that really concern them. It could come out great. It could come out that, they think that the home is in impeccable condition because you took really good care of it and they find no fault with anything. They're not really looking for cosmetic things, like if, the cabinets around the drawer pulls are a little worn, that's not something that they're going to really pick you apart on. So once they decide what's important to them, they will then come back to the seller and say, hey, we either want a credit for these things, or we'd like you to, tell us more about it. We would like you to repair something. And just because they ask you doesn't mean you're obligated. A lot of these homes are being sold as is. So as is means you really don't have to fix anything. But typically if it's a safety concern, if it's something that, was kind of happened on your watch, you're going to want to negotiate with them and, put your best foot forward on resolving whatever situation comes up. So, as a local realtor, I can help you. I can, we can get estimates, we can get two or three, choose our best. We can get our own expert in there to evaluate the situation to see if, it really does warrant what they're asking for. So when it comes time for the sellers to go and have their home inspected, don't freak out. Just expect that that's a part of the process. It would be for you if you were a buyer. You want to know you're spending a lot of money. You would want to know everything you can about that home so that there aren't any surprises, any big ticket items that you're not prepared for and couldn't pay for. Um, so I've linked an article below if you want more details. So just click on that article. If you have any other questions, I'm here for you anytime. And I hope that eased your concerns and hope to help you through that process so that you know what to expect. All right. Talk to you soon. Bye bye.